Hello class and welcome to another lesson. Today's lesson is on calculating percent word problems. Please make sure you pause and take good notes. Remember, when converting fractions to a percent, you need to first convert the fraction into a decimal and then convert it into a percent. So if you don't have this in your notes, please pause this video and write it down. Okay, here's an example. If we have the fraction 5/6, we need to make sure we divide first to turn it into a decimal. So the 5 is the numerator or the top number, and it goes into our dividend. We add our decimal. Okay, 6 does not go into 5, so we'll leave it blank. 6 goes into 50 8 times, and that's 48. We subtract, we get 2, because 50 minus 48 is 2. We bring down our 0. 6 goes into 20 3 times, and 6 times 3 is 18. I'm going to bring down one more 0, and just so we know that this repeats. Okay, so we're going to put a line. I can put a line over just this 3, or I can put it over both of them. This is called the repeating line. Okay, so 5/6 is the same as saying 833 thousandths. So if we turn it into a percent, we just move it over twice, right? So this goes over twice, so we count 1, 2 to the right, and we have 83 and 3/10%. Okay, so that 5/6 is now 83 and 3/10%. So if you get 5 out of 6 on a test, 5 correct out of 6 questions, your score is going to be an 83. All right, so let's try the next problem. We have 3 problems. Here's the first one. 72 out of 100 cats are long-haired cats. What percent of the cats are long-haired cats? And I would like you to write this problem down and make sure you show all your work as I'm doing my work. So if we have 72 out of 100 cats, then we are going to make a fraction first. So remember, it's part over whole. Okay, and our part is 72 over whole 100 because we have 100 cats total. Okay, so we're going to turn this into a decimal first. 72 divided by 100. We can just move our decimal place from here and move it over twice, or if you really feel the need to, you can divide. 72 goes in the house, 100 goes outside of the house. We add our decimal, zeros, and you should get 7. This is 700. Subtract 200, goes in twice. It is 72 hundredths. So we move our decimal over twice because that's what we need to do with our decimal, and we get 72%. So what percent of the cats are long-haired cats? 72%. So make sure you go back and reread the question to double check your answer. All right, make sure you show all your work. I will be checking in class. Here's the next problem. A fruit display of 50 apples has 43 green ones. What percent of the apples are green? Well, we have 50 total apples, and 43 is just the part. So what part of the whole, right? So we can do this 2 ways. The first way to do it is divide, like I showed you. So you turn it into a decimal, and then you turn it into a percent. The other way to do it is, because percent means out of 100, we put it out of 100, and we can say this is x. Now, you know that 50 times 2 is 100, so you can multiply 43 times 2 to get x. The other way to do it is just cross multiply, like we've learned. So you multiply 43 times 100, and then divide by 50. So if we did that, we get 43 times 100, we get 4,300 on one side, and the other side is 50 times x, and we call it 50x. Okay, so please make sure you write this down. This is number 1. Method number 1. So after we get this, we need to get x by itself, so we need to divide both sides by 50, like this. Divide both sides by 50 to get x by itself. right? And so x is equal to 4,300 divided by 50. And what is that equal to? I'm going to do it over here. Remember, the numerator goes in the house in your dividend. Okay, 50 does not go into 43, but it can go into 430. And let's see, it goes in 8 times. 50 times 8 is 400. We subtract, we get 30. We bring down our next 0. And 50 goes into 300, I believe, 6 times. So 50 times 6 is 300. We get 0 remainder, and so our unknown is 86. Okay. The second way to do it is just like I taught you. You can divide. Please make sure you have both ways written down. So you can divide 43 out of 50. Please pause if you need to write this down. Okay, or solve it on your own and see if you are correct. And you get the same answer as I do. So you're dividing 43 out of 50. So let's see, we put our decimal up. And so it's the same way we did before, right? Same subtraction. So you bring that down and we get 86 hundredths. And so 86 hundredths is the same as 86%. In this first section, I forgot to write percent, so it is 86%. Okay? But there's 2 ways to do it. Here's the first way, here's the second way. I prefer that you use this way, but this is also acceptable if you like this way better. Okay? So here's the next problem. So, out of 25 chairs, 14 are brown. What percent of the chairs are brown? If you would like to try this on your own, please try it on your own first and then double check. So pause the video, try it on your own, and then double check with my answer. So the part is 14 and the whole is 25. So here's our fraction, part to whole, right? So we're going to divide 14 divided by 25. 14 divided by 25, okay, bring up our decimal. 25 does not go into 14, it does go into 140 though, I believe 6 times, no, 5 times, okay, so 25 times 5, let's do our math over here, get 125. Let's see, we need to borrow. Comes a 3. We have 10 minus 5 is 5. 3 minus 2 is 1. Bring down our 0. 25 goes into 150. This should be a 6. Okay, so move our decimal place over twice. 1, 2. So we get 56%. 56% of the chairs, and I will restate everything. Chairs are brown, and that is my answer. The other way to do it, of course, is to put it out of 100. So we make a proportion, we make a proportion and we say out of 100 because percent means out of 100. We can call this x. We know that 25 times 4 is 100. You can do it this way because 25 is easy to work with. Or we can cross multiply 14 times 100 and then divide by 25. But this way we can work with 125 because the denominators are easy to convert. So 14 times 4, let's see, 4 times 4 is 6. Carry the 1. 4 times 1 is 4 plus 1 is 5. So we get 56. So x is 56%. And this is also acceptable. Okay? So both ways are acceptable. Here's the homework. You have 3 homework problems. Oh, this bottom part says, since it's cut off, what percent of dogs are not short-haired breeds? Okay, so if you need to check the problems before to answer these questions, you need to re-watch any parts of the video. Please make sure you do so, and I will see you tomorrow.